This is the thing that kind of drives me crazy is that in the spring or in the fall holiday season market, if you're like, hey, can you do Friday at 4? They will like bend over backwards to make it happen. At this time of year, like, hey, can we do Friday at 4? Like, well, we have a showing Sunday at 1, and then we have one at Tuesday at 3. Like, okay, well, I asked for Friday at 4. Like, that's not even like, we're not even like the same ballpark. We're not even like a few hours between. It's like going on Open Table, and it's like, there's nothing within 5 hours of your reservation. That's what, like, what is this? If you're a seller out there interviewing people, honestly, how much can you accommodate a showing, and how are you being notified? I'll tell you right now, we use showing time, and our clients get notified the same time that we get notified when we have a showing request. I wonder how many sellers out there actually know how many showings they miss. This is Laricy Live, and I'm your host, Matt Laricy, giving you unfiltered access to the world of real estate. We cover market trends, news, and give you the honest answers that will keep you ahead of the real estate game. Laricy Live is brought to you by Zenlist. Do you want to know the secret to growing a high-volume real estate business? It's not just about generating the most leads. The key to success for Laricy's agents is providing the best client experience. We put our clients on Zenlist because we know that they're getting the modern, mobile experience they not only want, but expect from their agent in this day and age. Using Zenlist with our clients put us all together in a shared space where we could work together during the home search process, which helps us be efficient and provides our clients the VIP treatment. Sign up for Zenlist using code LARICYLIVE, no spaces, all lowercase, to save $240 on your first year's subscription. Laricy Live is also brought to you by Lincoln Title. Lincoln Title is the best and most efficient title company in Chicago and the best place to close your property. All right, so today we are talking about what is happening so far in 2023. We did this last year. I think I do this yearly, where I'm just kind of getting into what's happening with the market because the market changes so fast. We go from a doom and gloom to a pretty good market. So what we do is we gather questions from my agents, from some buyers and sellers, my assistants, marketing people, etc., to talk about what we're seeing so far in 2023. So first question is, what's the biggest thing I'm seeing right now? Different market. It's hot. Market's picking up. We're seeing the confidence start to creep back in the marketplace. So it was doom and gloom, and now all of a sudden it's like the best market ever. So we're seeing some action. That's what realtors want to see. We want to see action. Things coming on, people buying, people selling, things like that. We want to see action. What are showings like right now? They're crazy. The first Saturday back. So right now, we're not supposed to get the dates, but the date today is January 18th, okay? So we're 18 days in. The first Saturday back after the holiday. We had more showings that Saturday than I had in all of December. That's how different it is. We've had more showings so far in these 18 days than I had if you combine October, November, December, all my showings in those 3 months. I've had more showings in these 18 days. That's a fact. So yeah, I'm seeing showings pick up. We're seeing a totally different market. How about this compared to last year? It's on pace. Honestly, I think last year was a little busier, but I still think we're doing very well. We're still seeing action come on. I think last year was busier because rates were lower, but I also think we had a lot of people that wanted to get into the market and we're coming back to the city on the outskirts. We'll talk about the downtown markets, but we're seeing the outskirts. I think definitely the outskirts were a little bit hotter at this time last year than they are now. Not saying they're not really hot right this second. I just think they were hotter last year. Are you seeing more contracts come in? Yeah. I mean, we're absolutely demolishing contracts. We were doing at least 2 sales a day, minimum. And they're just nonstop coming in, and a lot of them are on properties that we couldn't give away 3 months ago. Is there multiple bids? Yeah, we're seeing multiple bids come back big time. It's nice to see, and it's not nice to see. I like multiple bids when I'm on the list side, and I hate multiple bids when I'm on the buy side. But haven't lost a multiple bid yet. I'm waiting on a call to see if we won. But yeah, multiple bids are back, and you know what that means? That means there is action, and we love action. That's what we need in a marketplace. And, we're seeing it firsthand. Is there urgency back in the market? Yeah. People are feeling the pressure. So here's what happens. It's like kind of like a snowball effect. It's like an avalanche. Start small and then bam, it just hits. Right now you had a lot of people last quarter, doom and gloom. The market's going to fail. I think prices are going to drop anywhere from like 20 to 40%, right? That was the mentality. I said, guys, just wait till after the first of the year, the market's going to change. People are like, you're an idiot. It's not going to happen. Guys, go back to 3 weeks ago or 3 podcasts ago when I talked about this. I said, wait till it happens. Now the market's changed and you had these doom and gloom buyers like, oh, I think the market's going to drop. And now we're like, wait a second. Why are all these properties selling? I'm like, well, because the mentality's changed. And like, okay, well then let's see these 4 next week. I'm like, you don't have till next week to see these 4 properties. If you want to see them, you have to see them now because they'll be gone. I'm like, I'll wait. I don't really believe it. And then all of a sudden all 4 of them sell. And then they go crazy. Like, what the hell? I can't believe all these are selling so fast. What happened? Why is it such a different market right now? I'm like, I told you. The mentality has changed. And you know what that does? Now that buyer that went from doom and gloom, the market's dropped 20, 40% to, oh, I could take my time, to now is like, hey, I need to get into this property right now because I don't want to lose it. That, my friend, is what we call urgency. And we are seeing urgency come back to the marketplace. And that is also directly correlated with the mentality is changing in the market. Are people starting to waive things like as is, et cetera? Yeah, we're starting to see people. I just had 2 offers of my own listings where people are like, hey, it's as is, no mortgage contingency, 2-week close, et cetera. So we're definitely seeing that happen. What's the market like today compared to holiday season? It's like a different world. It's like we went into a different dimension. It's like we were in one dimension and, we just it was like rainy and cloudy and nothing was going to exist. And we walked through a veil and all of a sudden it's sunshines, rainbows, and unicorns. And it's like the greatest thing ever. That's what it's like. I tell people every single year, the market switches like a flip of of a light switch. And it happens every year. And then when it happens, it's like, I told you so, but this is just something that's very, very common. Why do you think the market flips so fast? I think it flips so fast because a lot of people during holiday season are checked out. Real estate, I think one of the reasons why I'm good at predicting the market is I just understand human nature. I really do. It's a mental game. It's like understanding what's the psychology of people. Right? So during holiday season, it's kind of cold. It's kind of like snowy, rainy here. Everybody's kind of like, let's just go party. Or I got, dinner this week and then another one this week. And then the news is telling me all this, media BS that like the world's going to end. So like, I'm going to buy into that. And everybody just buys into this depression bullshit and is busy with their life. And then after the first of the year, you have that new year, new mentality. Okay. Like it's a different market. So you see people's mentality changes. And what happens with that is that they now all of a sudden want to buy, but they're not alone. They're not the only ones that want to buy. There's hundreds upon thousands of people that feel this way. Then you have all these people tied to these rent cycles, and they all realize right after the first year that they have to start looking. So out of nowhere, it's like the gates open up and everybody's trying to kind of get through the gates. And what happens then is that the average consumer that's selling thinks the best time to sell is March and April. So we start the year with demand here, inventory here. All of a sudden by like first week of January, demand goes like this, but inventory stays here. So that's why multiple bids begin. And that's why the market flips like a light switch. It just changes very quickly. Is the market going as you predicted? It's literally going exactly as I planned it would go. It's almost scary how accurate I told people what would happen in the marketplace and how similar it is. And yeah, honestly, I think that's one of the reasons why we're literally crushing it. We've sold over like 40 properties. I think it's actually over 40 properties in 18 days. And it's solely because I told every seller what to do. So we pulled a lot of listings. We've sold half of those already. We've told a lot of our buyers, to make sure that if like when the market turns to get in right away and not wait because we're dealing, we're competing against buyers who are mostly waiting, and we're just taking advantage of the marketplace. Are you seeing more inventory come in the market? Yeah, absolutely. Inventory is starting to pour in. It's not like you really start seeing inventory like really, really pour in after the Super Bowl, but like right now, things are pouring in way more often than they were before. I always say fourth quarter kind of feels like Nordstrom Rack. All the inventory kind of feels like it's been picked over a little bit. After the first year, it's like Hoover Dam broke, and it's like the water's rushing through, and that's inventory hitting the marketplace. Most of the agents I'm talking to are busy and feel like it's going to be a hot market contrary to the national news. Yeah, I mean, listen, the news is a fear-mongering thing, like mongering thing. I cannot stand a lot of the mainstream media of what they talk about. I'm not one of these crazo, like fake news BS stuff. I'm not one of these people. Okay. So don't like think that when I'm saying this. What I'm saying is that like the news's job is to sell, papers or, get you to watch. And like, you can't get somebody to watch being like, hey, the market's the same again. Like they gotta throw some drama in there. They gotta it's like a movie. They gotta have like a climax and have some stuff out there. So they're making it out to be like the market's failing. And I keep telling people like, you also have to realize that the news is reporting on a nationwide basis. Okay. So like we only care about what's happening in our markets. Okay. So what we have to think about is like what's happening downtown. So even though the nationwide news, the national news is talking about like the market being terrible, our market down here is actually starting off pretty strong. People, of course, are still asking about interest rates and where they think they're headed. I mean, lately they've been dropping. They've been consistently going down. I don't know. Does that mean they can't skyrocket up 2%? It's possible. I don't know. I kind of feel like the government's going to try to cut these down a little bit as we head into the spring market to get a good spring to keep the economy up. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it's conspiracy theory. So far, it looks like that's going to be the case. But as of right now, the rates are dropping. With those rates leveling off, agents are saying that they've had 20 plus groups at open houses. Am I seeing more people at open houses? Yes. Open houses are packed. We've had quite a few open houses that have lines around the corner. I've also had quite a few open houses that have had 0 people through it. I don't know why. I've had one that sold right away and had nobody at the open, and I had one that had like a line around the corner and we didn't have a single offer. I can't tell you why it's like that. I really don't know. Maybe it's just pictures or a lot of people in that neighborhood that day. But opens are hit or miss. Personally, after the first weekend, I've never sold a property at an open house, but they're good to do first weekend. Neighborhoods with the most room to appreciate: downtown Chicago, the heart of the city. That area is down anywhere from like 2 to 20%, maybe even more in some buildings. But I think that market's coming back, and we're seeing it firsthand. Rentals are picking up a lot, much more traffic. Expect to see another crazy rental market in March and April, May. Yes. I think the rental market's going to be absolutely insane. And the more the job layoffs come and the more the economy gets hit, the crazier the rental market was going to get. Honestly, the reason rents were so surprisingly low in 2020 is because there's nobody in the city at all. But technically speaking, when the market's bad, the rentals go up because more people rent than buy. So we'll see. I think we're in store for a good rental market. And not only because I think the economy is going to hurt, I think a lot of people are moving back to the city for their jobs, and they're either nervous that they're going to keep that job, or if they're really going to be working from the office or home and they have to figure out the living situation, they're coming from a different city and they're not familiar with what's happening in Chicago. So that's why I also think the rental market's going to be pretty hot. Are parking spaces becoming more valuable? What do people normally pay for these, and are they worth the investment? I mean, honestly, I don't think parking's really gone up in value. Parking... The way to look at parking is that if it's an entry-level building in like the downtown markets, it's $35,000. For a high-end building, it's $50,000. First floor, extremely luxury, it's $75,000. Okay. I wouldn't say that they're more valuable. I wouldn't say that they're going up. I would say that if you have a 2-bedroom or a 1 or 2-bedroom condo in the city, you should always buy parking. Whether or not you should get if you got a 3-bedroom, owning 2 parking spaces is not bad because you can always rent it out. And that's the other thing, guys. You can always rent out parking, always. I will say during 2020 and 2021, if we were stuck with a parking space, like if somebody didn't buy it, which is super rare, it was almost impossible to sell. And what we're seeing now is that if we're stuck with the parking space, they're selling like almost immediately. So I don't think it's a bad buy, but I also think it's like, probably the best use of your money. I think it's kind of like a lateral. You're just kind of parking cash. No pun intended with that. No parking cash with the parking. You get that? Yeah? It's a dad joke right there. The buyers I've spoken to have all wanted to be able to rent their units out. Are people realizing that rental units are a good investment? Yes, we are seeing people want to rent out their units more. The flexibility is good, but I'll be honest with you, being a landlord kind of sucks. So we tend to see those people do it and then kind of back off it. But, it's never a bad idea to own more property, to diversify your assets. What is this rumor that you're not drinking during the week anymore? Yeah, I'm doing Monday to Thursday. So I drink Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Listen, guys, I'm not an alcoholic. I drink like a glass of wine a week. If you watch me on Instagram, it may look like more, okay? But like I have a glass, maybe 2, and that's even on the weekends, okay? I just like the taste of it. What I've decided to do is not drink Monday to Thursday and see how it goes. And I did it all of last quarter. So far, I'm not going to lie. Second week back, I broke my rule and had a glass on Tuesday and Wednesday of 2 weeks ago, and I've kept my routine. I will say I think it's going to be almost impossible to not drink during the week with this job, guys. It's like I'm in a game, like a football game, and I'm on the field, and then I come off the field, and then all of a sudden you want me to be like, hey, a good dad, right? So like essentially like I'm on the football field and I go home and I'm still like ready to attack people, and like maybe I had a shitty day and I can't settle down, and then without that glass of wine, I'm still kind of like screaming around the house. My wife's like, just have a glass of wine. You have a glass of wine, and the next thing you know, I'm like mellow. I'm like, all right, I can settle down. I can kind of change the mind a little bit. Like I could mellow off. It's kind of like my cooling off period. But the one of the New Year's resolutions is to continue into this year and not drink during the week. So we'll see if that happens. So that's a good one somebody put on here. All of the traffic we've been seeing has been sent around downtown, opposite of last year. Yeah, we're actually getting more showings in the downtown markets than we are on the outskirts. It's kind of crazy. I mean, it's nice to see. Guys, I'm not saying that the prices are coming back. The prices are still shit. I'm not saying that everything's flying off the markets. But I will tell you, I've had 2 properties now this year in buildings that I couldn't give them away last year at this time that we have sold with multiple bids in the downtown markets. It's crazy. Does your team take vacations during the spring? They shouldn't. Honestly, I don't think you should take a day off till July 1st. So I personally... I haven't taken it. I didn't even take January 1st off. I was in the office. So I will personally work from January 1st till July 1st. Okay. So I go straight through without a single day off. The reason I do that is because the best markets, the best time of the year is these first like six-ish months. Okay. This is the time to make the hay. I know that sounds bad, but the reality is like, if you want to be successful, we make about 60 to 65% of our business in the first like 4 to 5 months of the year. So to take off a weekend could cost the company a lot of business. If I want to take off more time in, August or October or December, sure, have fun with it. But the first 6 to 7 months, these are busy season. This is like game face on, put that stuff underneath your eyes and go out to battle, because like this is the time to win. So my people are not supposed to take vacations. If they do, it shouldn't be more than 3 days. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's really frowned upon. Or if they're going to take a longer trip, they're not allowed to do it on a weekend. And if they do like 2 weekends in a row, honestly, it's a problem. We've fired a lot of people over that in the past. We need our sales guys here. I don't just hire. And the reason why for a lot of people are like, it's pretty intense, right? I don't just hire people. So in my business model, every real estate agent and team out there, their goal is to hire a ton of people, okay? The more people I have that work for me, the more money I make, okay? So every real estate company's goal is to just hire a shit ton of people. And whether they close or they don't close, they don't care. They're making money off desk fees off them. They're overinflating like different costs for them, so they're taking money off them. And God forbid, if they do get a sale, they make money. So if I have 100 people on the streets or 5 people on the streets, the odds of me making more money is if there's 100 people on the streets, right? So hire more. Well, I take the opposite approach. I want Navy SEALs. I want the best of the best. I don't want somebody that's just out there that could make me a paycheck. But let me tell you something. In return of that, I demand undying loyalty from my sales guys. And if you're going to go out there on the weekend and leave us where, somebody else is going to be over busy or have to cover for you, you're not really doing me any good. So I'm doing it as a benefit for them. Like, you can make more money with less people, right? But if you're going to be taking off all the time, you're kind of defeating what we're trying to build here. And that's why we fire people. So I know it sounds intense. I know it's a long rant about it, but that's the reasoning why we do it. So I don't just look like this like evil person here. What do people mean when they ask if a mortgage rate is assumable? It means that you're trying to assume a mortgage. No conventional loan is pretty much assumable if it's blood. I'm not saying there's not a couple types, and some lender is going to come on here and say, like, I know of one, but like FHA and VA are usually your 2 ones that are mostly assumable. There are some like odd instances, but most rates are not assumable. So honestly, unless like you have everything buttoned up, don't even bring it up to me, because we've already lost 3 deals last year of these idiot agents telling me that you can assume a rate when I knew you couldn't assume a rate. But like, it is what it is. What do people mean when they ask, or I'm sorry, are you seeing a lot of people offer with cash? Yeah. Cash offers are pretty big. I think the likeliness of cash offers is going to go down when the economy when the economy hits like a little bit worse, because I think people are going to want to, reinvest their money. You don't get rich in good markets, you get rich in bad markets. So we'll probably see more people try to take out cash. But I'm also seeing a lot more line of credit offers where people are like their cash offers, but they're pulling lines of credit against their assets. What neighborhoods do you think they have the best values for new construction in 2023? I mean, in all honesty, like probably Logan Square, Westtown is where you could get, the most bang for your buck for new construction. But, there's a few projects going up across the city in different neighborhoods. I think it comes down to like the building itself, who's building it and where. I don't think there's just like, there's not like so much new construction going on that like, they're like, okay, well, this is where it's at. We're not like, Texas or Florida where we have like these neighborhoods getting built. Like you got like one or two offs in like each neighborhood. Our construction costs still high this year? They're not as high as they were last year. Which team member is performing the best? I mean, I don't know. It's 18 days in. Like, I don't know who put this one in. Somebody's looking brown nose in here, trying to get something out of me. I'd say that everybody is even right now. Nobody's performing better than anybody else. At the end of the quarter, you can throw this question and we can talk about it. Does Laricy set goals? Yeah. I sit down with every agent every quarter and talk about what goals we have. I ask them what their goals are. I tell them what my goals are. I tell them what my days off goals are. Yeah, yes, that's real, guys. We do days off goals. And then every quarter we check in to see kind of where they stand. And the goal for Laricy this year, closed as a group, is $323 million. That's $323 million. I did that because it's 2023. 323 will be easy to remember. We closed about 290 last year and did about 308 closed and pending. So, I mean, it's definitely an achievable goal if we put the pedal to the metal. The thing is, for people that don't understand, is that like, goals are great, and I'm have the most highest expectations you can have, but you get above 200 million, it's tough to keep like doing like a 20 or 30 million growth, especially with the amount of people we had. I think if I wanted to add like 5 more people, we could probably easily get to like 400 million or something like that. But like, if I want to keep it like more of like a lean operation, it's tougher to continue to grow that much. There's only so much time in a day. Who will take the most amount of days off, and who will take the least? I won't. I'm sure Piazza will probably win, or Catherine. Those two are always up there. And I think the least days off, I think is probably going to be, well, it's always myself. Just so you guys know, like Mickey beat me one year for days off. But otherwise, it'll probably be Mickey or JC will probably have the least amount of days off. Have I changed my structure of days off or half days? So for everybody out there, Monday to Friday, you have to work till 6:30 at night. Anything like if you go to dinner at 6, that's considered half day. On the weekends, you have to work till 4 p.m. So if you took off at like 3:30, that's considered half day. No, I'm not changing that. It's never going to get changed. What updates would you do if you're a seller to sell your home in the spring market? Basic stuff: paint, white cabinets are still in. Backsplash, have it look good. That's the main thing. Like, at least make it look good. Don't make it look like a foreclosure. When do you think the majority of inventory will start to hit the market? I think it's hitting, but the majority is always after Super Bowl is when you start seeing like real stuff. For some reason, like back in like the early 2000s, somebody in the Tribune published an article saying the best time ever to list is the day after the Super Bowl, so people still believe it. So we'll see. Let's see here. How can I make my offer stand out and get accepted? You can write a letter, do as is, waive your mortgage contingency. Have a good agent that calls. Here's actually my number one rule, guys. My number one rule to win a multiple bid is to call. I will tell you right now, I've already received a few multiple bids on my properties, and not a single person has called, and one has ended in my spam box. I've talked about this many times on different podcasts. Have your agent call. I never understand why agents don't call and present. I don't get it. I never will get it. I also don't get why an agent calls me up and is like, hey, I'm going to make an offer. I'm like, okay, well, what's it going to be? And like, you'll see. This is how most, for people interviewing agents out there, should be like, do you actually present the offer? This is, Mr. Buyer out there, ask your agent, are you actually presenting the offer? Because I will tell you, if somebody does call me, it's kind of like, hey, I'm going to be sending you over an offer. I'm like, okay, what's it going to be? You'll see. I'll see what? Like, I'll see the offer? Like, we're on the phone right now. What's the number? Whoa, you don't have to get aggressive. I'm not getting aggressive. I'm just asking what the number is. Like, do you know what the number is? Yes, I know what the number is. Okay. Can you tell me what the number is? You'll see. I'll see. So you're going to tell me, Mr. Buyer out there, that this person's doing you a great job negotiating? Like, I've already known when that happens that I'm going to completely own that person in a negotiation if you do that on my listing. Like, I just know it. And I'll tell you right now, if I have 2 offers and, all things are the same, and I got the will see offer, and I got another person's like, hey, listen, my person really wants this. Here's the number we're coming in at. He'll waive X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go with the person whose person pitched me. The person, because then I know that at least, even if the buyer doesn't want as much, at least I know the agent's going to try to do what he can to save the deal. The passive aggressive person's always the worst people to deal with. The worst. They're the ones who are like, like we get a cancellation letter, we never hear back from them, and I call up the agent a million times, like, hey, whatever happened? They're like, my buyers didn't think it was a good fit. And I'm like, okay, can you give me some reason to go back to my client for? No. That's the buyer that you hire, or that's the buyer's agent you hire. That's people out there. We got to do some better interviewing as we head into busy season here. Is it still a buyer's market? And can I still get a good deal? No. The market has changed. It's no longer a buyer's market. So if you wanted to have the controls, should have bought last, back in the holiday season. But that time has passed, and now you got to pay market value. What time do you leave the office in the spring compared to the fall winter? I mean, it's not that much difference. I try to get home to put Remy to bed, which is around 8 o'clock, and Rowan always goes to bed around 9. It's late for 2 and 4-year-olds, but that is what it is. And then I get back on the computer. I'm a weirdo. I work just as long in the winter as I do in the spring. I don't even know what people ask this. If a seller pulled their market this fall, when should they go back on? 91 days after the market. 91 days after the market, you go back on and you sell. Are more agents from other teams asking for different times or trying to group showings? Yeah, this is the thing that kind of drives me crazy, is that in the spring or in the fall holiday season market, if you're like, hey, can you do Friday at 4? They will like bend over backwards to make it happen. At this time of year, like, hey, can we do Friday at 4? Like, well, we have a showing Sunday at 1, and then we have one at Tuesday at 3. Like, okay, well, I asked for Friday at 4. Like, that's not even like, we're not even like the same ballpark. We're not even like a few hours between. It's like going on an open table, and it's like, there's nothing within 5 hours of your reservation. That's what is this? If you're a seller out there interviewing people, honestly, how much can you accommodate a showing, and how are you being notified? I'll tell you right now, we use showing time, and our clients get notified the same time that we get notified when we have a showing request. I wonder how many sellers out there actually know how many showings they miss. That could be like right now, agents are super cocky. Great. But I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of times when you're cocky and you miss, you think you're going to sell it and it doesn't sell. And then guess what? Somebody else picks up that listing. People should be bending over backwards to accommodate showings. We almost never miss a showing. I would say almost never. But yes, a lot of people are starting to group together showings. Agents on our team have said that the suburbs are really fast right now. Are we still seeing that? I'm hearing from suburb agents the market's still hot. So that market is still starting off strong. I do think that market's going to cool off. From what I've heard from other brokers out there, it's not as hot as it was, but suburbs have been doing better than previous years. Are other agents putting up lock boxes because they can't handle showings? Yeah, we're getting a lot more of the lock. I love lock boxes when I represent the buyers. It's just, or keys with the doorman. It's just great. Go in when we want to go in. I don't have like a rookie agent trying to tell me something about a building they don't know. But I do agree you should always have an agent there. Personally, when you're a big agent, it's easier for me just to kind of take it over and be done with it. Are we still seeing new properties that are not really new? This is the oldest trick in the book. You cancel the listing and you immediately put it on as new, so it comes up as new, and then it gets resent out to everybody. This is a big thing that happens right after the first year. We do it. We do it too. I'm not a hypocrite. It's just a good way to kind of, juke the system. It's just a way to kind of try to stand out a little bit. Listen, guys, we're in sales. We're trying to sell a property. So if I got to do a couple of like these 1980s car gimmicky things to help sell a property, then that's what it is. I'll tell you, I sold one of my listings that was like very stale by doing this. So, you got to try the tricks of the trade, and that's going to be something that's going to keep happening. Are investors coming in the marketplace earlier than before? Investors are going to be heavy in this market due to the looming recession, due to the fact that inflation is high, due to the fact that we're on a volatile stock market, due to the fact that people are looking to park their cash during hard times. So yeah, I think this whole year is going to be a heavy investor-friendly market. What is public transportation proximity, or why has public transportation proximity been such a must-have lately? People are going back to work. That's why we're seeing a lot of our buyers tell us, what's a big thing happen in 2023? Public transportation's coming back. They just got to wipe off the crime on there. It'll get even better. But for the time being, we're seeing people want to use it again. Which mayoral candidate do you think will help with crime? I don't know. Anybody could be better than what we got. I don't know. We're not technically supposed to talk about it, but yeah, it's just any other option. I'll take any other option at this point. Are sellers getting more are sellers becoming more in the driver's seat? Yes. Sellers are having a little bit more control, definitely more than they had during the holiday season. Are agents getting cockier compared to the spring? This is my favorite one. Agents tell me now it's a different market. So we had a lot of these things in holiday seasons where we've been bringing offers, or I've been talking to agents and they've been bringing offers. My listeners like, well, the market's it's gonna fail. I'm just telling you right now. The guy, my managing broker, who's sold 2 properties in his life, told me that it's a different market. And we had a meeting on it. I'm like, okay, well, after the first year when I see you in the streets and you tell me how great of the market is, I'm going to throw that in your face. Like, it's not going to be like that. Not next year. This year is different. Oh, okay, this year's going to be different. Then I see that person in the street and like, oh my God, it's such a different market. It's like, I'm like crazy. Are you busy? Are you busy? Are you busy? Are you busy? It's like, whoa, like, yeah. We're always busy. It's January. It's like our best month of the year. Every year. It's like clockwork. I live in Groundhog Day. So like, yeah, agents are cocky right now. You can also tell the difference is in the fall holiday market. When you're on a showing, you could literally, it's like your dog. You could like smell the desperation and fear on that agent because they probably haven't had a sale in so long. And they're just like begging. They're literally begging you to try to buy the place. And then like 2 weeks later, you're on showings, and that agent's like cocking and shit. They're on their phone texting the whole time. Like, go upstairs. Yeah, I think there might be 2 bedrooms, maybe 3. I don't know. We got like 5 offers. Highest and best is due at 6. So yeah, we're seeing a completely different mentality on the agent side as well. Which areas are we seeing the most activity in? Honestly, it's pretty spread out. I'm seeing more activity downtown though than I have previous. I'm sure I don't have the exact stats of the outskirts. Honestly, it's probably came out a couple days ago because they come out every 2 weeks on showing time. But I would say that the outskirts are probably still getting more activity technically, but we're seeing a lot more downtown. Is the heart of the city as good as you expected? Honestly, it's performing better than I expected. I thought it would be a really strong year, and we're definitely seeing people come back. How are single-family homes performing? Those aren't as good as they were. I mean, the thing with single families right now is there's still not a lot of inventory. And a lot of these people are locked into these low rates. So I still think it's going to be a really good market. I'm just not seeing like some come on at $2 million and somebody being like, here's $3 million. So I think single-family homes will be phenomenal this year. I think it'll probably lag a little bit behind last year. Do you think we'll see less inventory come on the market because of people having low rates? No. I think we'll see good inventory. In fact, I think we'll probably see as much inventory as we saw last year. Is now a good time to buy with what's happening? Yeah, I think now is a great time to buy. I think every time is a good time to buy. And the reality is you can't time a market. If you're going to buy, if my options are this, buy or rent, I buy. Okay? If my options are buy or live with my parents, depends on how much I like my parents. Okay? But the reality is it's always, buying always beats renting in my opinion. If talks of recession have an effect, has talks of recession affected the market? Yes. You still have some people with this doom and gloom mentality, but I will tell you that that's going to change quick. Now, if the market, takes a 15% drop from where it's at today, then yeah, it'll probably change the market a little place, but we're starting off really strong. Buyers that are looking right now, where are they at in their search? Beginning, middle, or end? I mean, you do get a huge amount of buyers like just starting off. So they get all this. A problem that I have with spring buyers compared to fall buyers is that like a lot of buyers looking right now, they're not really buyers. It's like day one. They're like, yeah, they like just met a new girl. They're like, let's maybe go start looking at some places. What do you think? It's like almost like a pickup line for them. They go touring properties, and like you can just tell you like this guy's not a buyer. This guy's just like trying to impress this girl. It's like, yeah, babe, this one looks. I think we could get this one. And you just know. I mean, who says that on a showing? Like it blows my mind. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of these like beginning searches, but everybody's got to start somewhere. So everybody's got to start off, at some point. So we are catching more of that. I really like the end of January and beginning of February because we see a lot of the buyers who started off the front of the year start offering because they feel the urgency. They start getting outbid, and the people who are actually buyers start to feel the pressure of knowing that, hey, maybe February, March will be even worse with competition, so they want to buy a place. If you were a seller renting with where the market at, would you list now? Or wait a year? I would list now most likely. I'd have to know what the property is, what type of rent you're getting, what type of price you could get. Does it make more sense compared to the income you're getting from your rental to sell? There's a lot of different things that are a factor, but technically speaking, I don't like the unknown. So I think the market's good enough to sell. But again, if somebody's out there like, well, Matt, we just had a call and you told me it's better to rent. It's case by case, guys. It's case by case. Most of the time I'd sell. Overall, do you think that market will be as hot as last year? I doubt it just because of rates and because of the economy, but who knows? It's possible. I mean, I think it's gonna be a good market. I think realistically the market probably will end by the time it's over with, will probably be very similar to last year's market. It's possible if we don't have a recession, if I could predict when there'd be a recession, I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't be selling real estate. I'd be sitting on a yacht drinking champagne all day. But the reality is I can't predict that. So if we don't have a recession, this mild recession that people keep talking about, we'll probably have a little bit of a better market. And if we have a recession and it's a bad recession, it'll probably be a little bit of a worse market. But that part I can't compare, but I think it'll be pretty similar to last year. How do you think the first quarter will shake up compared to the fourth quarter of last year? It'll be way better. It's not even a question. It's going to be way better. Are you hearing a lot of buyers complain about rates? No. Lastly, would you say that we're in a buyer's or seller's market right now? I would say that we're in a balanced to slight edge to seller's market right now. Okay, for most sectors of the marketplace. Okay, you got a high rise downtown above $1 million. You're in a buyer's market. Overall, there's you're in the loop, hardcore buyer's market. Okay, but overall, we're starting to see the market shift. We're starting to see action happening, and we're starting to see the mentality kind of change. And that's kind of why we're doing this podcast right now, because it's what are we actually seeing? Not what those BS stats are coming out in the news. What your friend of a friend said who bought one property in his lifetime 10 years ago. This is boots on the ground, what we're seeing firsthand. And we're seeing the market kind of slowly shift. We're seeing the mentality come back. We're seeing the urgency start to come back. We're seeing offers start to come back. We're seeing listings starting to come back. So overall, we're starting to see the market kind of get a little bit of action, which is the best thing we could see for a marketplace. That's all we got today, guys. Thanks for listening to Laricy Live.